Hi everyone, my name is Jeff, and for all you cabochon lovers, we're going to be making some fused glass cabochons today. You're familiar with these, I'm sure. They come in all sorts of styles: dichroic, opal, transparent, all sorts of different patterns on them. But today we're going to make some based on strip construction. Welcome to Rocket Rose Art. Making fused glass cabochons using the strip construction doesn't sound terribly exciting, because basically all you're going to have is stripes of colour. Well, that's unless you add some decoration to it. Now, I've made these before, and I've made them just as stripes as well, but I've also added decoration. But I've always kept it reasonably simple, so today we're going to take it up one notch and add more decoration today, so it'll either end up terrible or different, or maybe even a little good. Who knows? Now, if you've never made cabochons before, hopefully today what I'm going to show you may get you a little inspired to give it a go. To turn them into jewellery isn't that hard. You can just glue on a bail, or if you do wire wrap them as well. Hang around to the end, and I'll be talking a little bit about how you can make these cabochons fit standard bezel and prong settings. If you've watched some of my other videos to do with cutting cabochons, you'll know what I'm talking about. Now, you can do this in a microwave kiln. You'll just have to make the little strip constructed bars small enough to fit in your microwave kiln. Other than that, you shouldn't have a problem. Now, if you're new to the channel and you like the video and you want to see more, don't forget subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'll ask everybody all of your comments and questions in the comments section below, and hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. If you're not familiar with my videos, you'll know I use Bullseye COE 90 glass. I generally fuse on thin fire paper, and if I'm putting something in a mould, I will spray the mould with boron nitride. The firing schedules that I provide in the description below will obviously have to be adjusted if you're using something like COE 96, and also keep in mind that all kilns don't fire the same. Now, as far as materials today, colours are totally a personal choice. You choose whichever colours you want. I'll be using all 3mm glass, and the strips I'll cut will be 6mm wide. Now, all the glass I'll be using is opal and a little bit of dichroic, but you could be using anything really. You could use transparent, you could use 2mm glass, anything you like to make the strips. And what I'm going to show you today doesn't require any special equipment at all. So it's great if you don't have any equipment such as diamond saws and grinders and so forth. So what we're going to do is make up a base using the strip construction method, and we're going to make it in small pieces, and we're going to decorate that with things like stringers and that, as I said. Now, these top ones, the lines will run vertically. The bottom ones, the lines will run horizontally. Now, I'll initially tack fuse all these together, and then when it's tack fused, I'll have some bit of fun decorating them. I'm going to be using some stringers to decorate, possibly some of these little cabs I've made up here, maybe a bit of frit, and we'll just see what comes to mind at the time. So I'll get these laid up on the shelf. I'll show you how I'm doing that, and then we'll get them in the kiln for a tack fuse. Now, I've just randomly come up with a mixture of colours. I tended to balance out the colours so that, that's maybe the OCD inside of me, so that it's equal both sides, top, bottom. Of course, you don't have to do that. You can make it any way you like. One of the first things I should mention is that you could, of course, make these strips longer if you want to make multiple of them and then cut them up. But if you don't have a diamond saw, then this is the way to do it. Cut them up at the lengths you need them, and then tack fuse them all together like this. Now, what I've done here is I've separated each one with a little piece of thin fire and I've got thin fire paper near the dams as well. And this is why you don't throw away all those little bits of thin fire paper. This is where they come in handy. So I'll get this in a kiln now and we'll do a tack fuse. By the way, that hum you can probably hear in the background is the washing machine. It's washing day today. Something I should mention is that under normal circumstances, I would probably take these and grind them a little bit just to make them a bit neater. But you don't have to actually do that. You'll find that they still come out really nice, even if you don't do that. Just that I'm a bit of OCD there. And it does help them to round on the ends. Like these ones here, when they're fused up, will round a little bit, but they will tend to be a little bit square. So that's all done. I've used a range of different things here to decorate it with. As you can see, I've got some stringers in here, little deco dots that I call them, little bits of dichro, some frit, a little bit of vitrograph up here. So I've used a range of different things. I'll get those in the kiln now for a full fuse, and tomorrow morning we'll see how they come out. Well, like everything, sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. And guess what we got here? Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Anyway, I'll just show you. Some of them will turn out well. I don't mind the black and white one with a little bit of dichro. That's turned out quite well. I love the way that it pushes the stripes around. The back is still just straight, of course. This one here, that was a mix. Yeah, not real fussed on that one. The green is okay. This one that I had a lot of transparent frit on, it sort of worked. We'll get it over here. It sort of worked. Not too sure what you think of all these. I do have my favourites, and that's one of them. I think that has worked well, and that's what I'm trying to achieve in a lot of these, is just to get it to push those strips around a little bit. That one's interesting. It reminds me a bit like a black hole. The dichro one's quite good. And this one with a bit of reaction in it, that's quite good as well. Keep going off to the side. And the final one was a little bit of a surprise. That had a little bit of iridized on it, and I didn't realise what it was. But anyway, it's turned out okay. So I'm not too sure what you think. Let me know in the comments below, or if you've got a favourite or something you even hate. I know I've got one that I hate, so don't be afraid to let me know in the comments. Sorry about that, I was just waiting for a plane to go over. We're right underneath the flight path into our local aerodrome, it's called, not airport. Anyway, now I think some of those there would make nice jewellery. A couple of them I think not so good, but at least I think you can see how they can be used in jewellery. And these can be used in jewellery a number of ways. As I said before, you can glue bales onto them, you can wire wrap them, you can embed them in precious metal clay as well. They will take the heat. What are the other ways? You can make custom bezels for them and custom prong settings. Whether they're worth it, because after all they are only fused glass cabochons, I don't know. And you can also set them in standard bezels and standard prong settings. Now to do that, you're going to have to do a little bit of cutting. Now I showed you before what I meant by standard bezel settings. I think I flashed up a card at the beginning. If not, they're up here again. They are standard settings that you can buy in stainless steel and in just base metals that have usually just a low side around them that is pushed over the cabochon. Well, With these cabochons, because they've got a sort of a big rounded side on them, they won't work because the sides aren't high enough to get up to hold the cabochon in place. So to get these to fit standard bezel settings, you need to drop those sides enough so that those sides, so that you can drop the size of the cabochon enough so that the sides of the bezel will fit over them. And the way I've been doing that is on a machine using grinding wheels to cut them down. You also need to cut them into exactly the right shape. So you'll need to take your bezel, use it as a template to get your right shape. Again, the only way you can do that is to cut them down, because you won't reliably get anything like that straight out of the kiln. Now, there may be molds around. I don't know of any. The molds that I've tried, same problem. They come out and they have quite a large radius edge on them, and unless you can find a bezel that's very high on the sides, you just simply won't get them in. Prong settings, you have a better chance of getting them in because the prongs give you a little bit of leeway. But again, you're probably going to have a problem with shape. While you can get a prong setting, you might not be able to get some of these rather odd shapes into it. Anyway, I have a number of videos that you can watch to see how I'm doing this. I also put a link up here to the playlist for those videos, so I'll give you the ability to go and have a look at it straight away. So I think that's about everything I can say about these. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's given you some ideas. And if you want to see a couple more videos right now, again, you'll find them up there. And the subscribe button there. Don't forget your notifications. And until the next video, I'll say bye for now.